So today I was actually going to record another shirt video. I have so many that I still need to do, and so many upcoming because I'm always looking at more shirts. But as you can see, I have my Birmingham Legion shirt on. We got to talk about some crazy not MLS news. We got to talk about some crazy USL news. I guess this kind of ties in with the MLS a little bit because today, well, yesterday, kind of, the USL has announced a Division 1. Now, for those who don't know, the USL in American soccer, American football, is has been the second division, the second tier in the American soccer pyramid. It was MLS, then it was USL Championship, USL 1, USL 2, so on and so on. That is apparently changing because we got an announcement stating that the USL will be creating a Division 1 to rival the MLS. Now, that sentence alone is insane. However, this is amazing for the American soccer fan because for a really long time, the USL has been trying to push pro rel in the US. In the MLS, there's no pro rel. It's you go into the playoffs, you either win, you do well, or you don't make the playoffs. There's no promotion, there's no relegation. And for a really long time, there wasn't really promotion and relegation in the USL either, but they've kind of been experimenting with it here and there. Certain teams have been allowed to move up into the championship. Certain teams have been allowed to move from 2 to 1, so on and so on. But it's never been like a real promotion relegation system. Anyway, we're gonna get into the actual article here because it's nuts. It is genuinely crazy. All right, let me just boom. Here we go. We got X down that real quick. X down all of that real quick. I just want to focus on the article here. I don't need classic football shirts up. I don't need blue sky up. I just need the article. Alright. United Soccer League takes bold step forward with launch of Division 1 Professional Men's League. Now, they already had a Division 1 Professional Women's League. It's the USL Super League. They had their first season last year. It did alright. It did pretty well. It set out what it meant to do. And it seems like it's only going to get bigger. But now it's the men's turn. Bringing the highest level of soccer to more communities. Elevating the sport. And taking another step toward aligning with the global game. Providing more opportunities. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. United Soccer League, the USL, announced plans to launch a Division 1 men's professional league in 2027 to 2028, bringing the highest level of soccer to more communities across the country. This groundbreaking initiative builds on the USL's commitment to grow the game at all levels, provide new opportunities for players, teams, and fans, and strengthen the foundation of American soccer at a time when the sport is experiencing unprecedented momentum. That is important. Because that is true. We had the MLS Super Bowl ad. More people in the US are watching soccer than ever before. Our generation is pushing it forward. Regardless if you are watching Bundesliga, regardless if you're watching the Prem, Ligue 1, Serie A, La Liga, or even the MLS, popularity of soccer in the US has exploded. And it's only getting bigger. It hasn't slowed down at all. This is huge. It's getting bigger. Today is a defining moment for the USL and the future of soccer in the United States, said Alec Papadakis, CEO of, I'm pretty sure I said the name wrong, CEO of the United Soccer League. Creating a Division 1 league is a bold step forward, expanding access to top-tier competition, deepening the connection between our communities, and taking another step in aligning with the structure of the global game. Essentially, what they've wanting to do is they want to move the schedule to more toward the European schedule, where they would start in August and then finish in like March or April. And I think the MLS has been talking about doing this for a while too, but they haven't really. It's kind of just been rumblings here and there. Where was I? Oh, by uniting people through soccer and bringing Division 1 to more cities, we're not just growing the sport, we're creating lasting opportunities while building a more sustainable and vibrant soccer ecosystem in the US. Essentially, what he is saying is we're seeing the growth, we're acting on it, and we're going to build things. We're going to build stadiums for cities that might not have an MLS team. My city doesn't have any soccer teams at all. However, a city that's not too far from me is getting a USL championship team, Pro Iowa. And that's kind of a big deal because, you're reaching out to people that the MLS is probably going to overlook. They're kind of in that, I don't want to say NFL status because it's not NFL status, but like they're focusing on like the metropolitan big cities. They're looking at New York City. They're looking at Dallas, St. Louis, St. Paul, places like that. Big Chicago, big cities. They're not looking at the smaller cities like Des Moines or my area. But the USL is. The USL sees the opportunity, and they're allowing places in the US that don't have big draws, that don't have nearly as big populations, but still want to see games, access to seeing games. I talked a lot. Anyway, the Division I League, defined by the sanctioning standards of the U.S. Soccer Federation as the highest level for professional soccer in the United States, represents the next evolution in the USL structure, establishing a fully integrated pathway for clubs and players with the USL Championship and USL 1 already there, providing a strong foundation for player development and competition. The new league completes the system, meaning this is going to be something that they're going to view as on the level of like a Premier League or a Bundesliga, where it's the end point. It's the top tier that you can get to. You can't go any higher, but you might be able to fall back down because USL, again, has been pushing for Pro-Rel, and this might be the biggest step towards that. Now, they have this top league that's Division 1 on the same level as the MLS. The MLS doesn't have Pro-Rel. However, the USL will eventually, and that might make the USL more exciting, more fun. There's a level of stakes to a league that has promotion relegation. You can go up, you can go down. It can be a mess, but there's stakes to it. There's excitement to it. Anyway, the USL has long been committed to creating a structure that drives growth, opportunity, and long-term success in American soccer. The USL model empowers clubs with greater autonomy and fosters a dynamic, interconnected system, one that allows them to compete at the highest level while remaining deeply rooted in their communities. Football clubs build communities. They build communities. More! Around the world, top-tier clubs thrive in cities of all sizes, and we believe the same is possible here. The demand and infrastructure are in place. Yes, it's been in place for years. Don't let people tell you it hasn't been, because it has. And the potential for growth is immense. It's only going to get bigger. The league will serve as a platform for both rising and established players to compete at the highest operational professional standards in the U.S., further elevating the quality of play within the USL, and the level of the dynamic player pool for international competitions. Interest, this is like really, really big right here, and why this is so important. You ready? Boom. Right there. They say it. They know. Interest in soccer in the United States is at an all-time high, fueled by rising participation rates, increased media exposure, which is a huge thing, and growing anticipation for major international events like the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Summer Olympics. I really hope we do well. Anyway, as what they're saying is, as these competitions get closer, and these tournaments get closer, it's raising the excitement that people have. People are going to be more curious about it. People are going to be excited about it. People are going to be looking more. They're going to wonder, like, hey, can we have that sort of thing here? And the answer is absolutely yes, we can. And that is what the USL is trying to build. This is important because clubs build community. And not even just that. It also builds this sense of we can create this thing, we can grow it, and then we can have what those other leagues have here. We could have our own Prem, we could have our own Bundesliga. We can put clubs in leagues that maybe aren't the big cities of the US, and we can still be successful doing it. That is what he is talking about here. That is what the USL has been pushing for years now. It's here. It's happening. I'm not going to read all of the crazy rule stuff. Basically, you have to have 15,000 seats, and there's like a $1 million like buy-in process that they're gonna do. I'm not 100% sure how that's gonna work. From what I understand, teams can like opt into it, but they have to have a stadium that fits at least 15,000 seats. There isn't a ton of USL clubs that have this. However, they could expand and make their stadiums bigger to fit this. And then I'm sure there's also going to be some leeway with it too. Like if you're like maybe a 13,000 seat stadium, they might like be like, all right, that's close enough, and let people in. Or if they're like a 14,000 seat stadium, so on and so on. I am talking really fast because I'm very excited about this, and it is so good. What this really comes down to, and I want to stress this, this is not a USL versus MLS thing. It's not. It's we have this sport that we all want to see succeed. Whether you're a USL fan, whether you're an MLS fan, it doesn't matter. We all want to see soccer in America grow. It's never going to be the NFL. It's never going to be on that level. But we want to see it grow here. For years, we've looked across to Europe. We've watched the Bundesliga, and I'm a fan of Leverkusen. Trust me. Usually when this time of the year comes by, yeah, I don a Minnesota United kit or I don a Birmingham kit. This is the only one I own. But for me, and I know for many others, it's always been kind of the sideshow, right? It's the thing to watch when the big leagues in Europe aren't playing. It doesn't have to be that anymore. And I'm not saying, hey, you should drop your team and watch the USL or the MLS. I'm not saying that at all. What it is we are building it up for us. What succeeds over there can succeed here. That is what they are saying. That is what they are trying to build. And it's going to take years to get it right. It took years for those leagues to get it right. And sometimes they still have to change the rules a little bit. Sometimes rules have to be bent a little bit. We build it up, and we build it up over time. It doesn't have to immediately be, oh, here's pro-rel, right? Because then teams will flounder. Teams will fold. We saw this happen with Memphis at the end of the last USL championship. Memphis was like, we're done. We don't have the financial backing to do this anymore. We're folding. Obviously, if they just dropped pro-rel immediately, that would happen to probably a lot of other teams. What they could do, and I think this would actually be really, really smart on their part, is they get this new Division 1 league started. Then you have USL Championship underneath, right? It's the division underneath, the tier underneath in the USL pyramid. Pro-rel in Division 1, Pro-rel in Championship. For the first few years, have them kind of going back and forth. 2-tier promotion, relegation. Then, when you have the financial stability of, I would say, probably the majority of clubs in League 1, then you add League 1 to that. Same with League 2, and so on. That way, you're not abruptly dropping this in and hoping that everybody makes it out okay. You're giving those clubs time to build up their bases, build up their finances, and meet those criteria that they need to meet to be able to support that. This is going to be huge, and it's going to be so fun to watch. It's going to be great. I am breathing like super hard right now because this is kind of what like I've personally been waiting for as like an American fan. Like Pro-rel, Division 1. It's all coming together, and it's all so great. Now, I will still watch the MLS 100%. The MLS might even stay as like the main attraction for American soccer fans that watch American soccer. Maybe they will. Maybe the USL will overtake them. I don't personally think that would ever happen, even with the Division 1 league, but it would still be really, really fun. And we have the US Open Cup coming up. It's always fun when it's USL versus MLS. We have Leagues Cup. We have the Jägermeister Cup. We have all these things in place. We have CONCACAF. We have the Gold Cup. Let's do it. Let's build it up. And let's have fun with it. Because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be communities coming together, supporting their teams, and having fun. Yes, I've ranted for too long, but that's kind of the point. We're ready. Let's go. Whew. I did not plan to talk this long. I kind of just planned to do the article and then be done with it, but this happened so quickly that, like, the news broke so quickly that it was kind of just like, reaction, let's go. But, in all seriousness, this can only be good things if it's done well. If they take the time and just build it up, but start small and keep building brick by brick until we have this sustainable environment, this soccer sustainability that we know can be built, that we've been waiting. We've been like the underground people watching all of our clubs slowly over generations, over time, growing in popularity. And the bubble is about to break. It's time. We're ready. And it's going to be so fun. Let's do it. We have MLS 30th season starting in under 2 weeks. We have the USL Championship season starting in about a month. There's going to be so much to look forward to. And another division, a first division, is only going to be better. It's going to push teams to play better, to train more. We have the money, the ecosystem, and everything we need. Let's go. Okay, I'm done ranting.